Or about the amygdala again and how beautiful it is, and how if you can understand your amygdala, that you'll understand that this is how we deal with a lot of things. For example, I'm going to try to trigger you now. Things that trigger you. Um, so religious people, I say there is no God. Well, that's and you guys are just stupid for believing it. Um, all right, so it's a trigger because it's contrary to what your files are. And let's go with this. So it's a conclusive file that you've concluded that there is a God. And so when I say there is no God, and I can tell you why, I can prove it to you. This can incense a sense of anger in you, and rage, and attacking. You're feeling attacked, so then you're going to attack me. Basically, I'm a stupid idiot, etc. That's your fight response. Fight or flight. Well, if you call me an idiot or whatever, then you're fighting, which is coming from your amygdala. Clearly, if you were just a religious person, smooth-handed and everything else, you would say, well, I pray for him to find God. That would be it. And you'd be sincere about it. But when I tell you how stupid you are and you're wasting your money and you're part of a system that takes your money, and when you die, you're dead, and you're not going to get an afterlife. Besides, what do you want to do? Serve somebody? You're going to be a servant for somebody for the rest of your eternity? Great. You're not even doing that well down here. All right, that was just triggering you. Religion usually triggers people, but there's a lot of people aren't religious. So you're triggered by your friends and your spouses, movies. So that's just stupid. Anything that you find yourself saying, that's stupid on any event today, well, then it was triggered. You were triggered. And let's watch how you create files. So right now, I'm talking to you, and you're creating a file about me. And it's just a file. I'm going to have to do two things here. I'm going to show you a file here, then I'm going to call this conclusive files, and I'm going to call this the amygdala over here. And so you're loading files now on the information I give you on my channel, on things you may research and try to find out about me. You're loading files up because you're feeling attacked, and maybe you want to try to get some research to attack me back, or you just want to see if I'm full of shit or not. But with that said, you have files here, and so until you get a conclusive file and decide that I'm one or the other, they're just files. They're just information, and ultimately you'll get a conclusive file. So when my name is mentioned, and this goes with anybody, but I'm just using me as an example for you guys. When my name is mentioned, you immediately load, all these files get loaded, but you skip those files, and this gets loaded down here, your conclusive file, that he is a jerk. With that said, that immediately loads. And so if someone over here says he's great over here, they say he's great. Well, immediately that's an attack on your conclusive files. So you will attack back. And because you made this conclusive file that I'm a jerk, like say Donald Trump, people don't like Donald Trump. I've got nothing against Donald Trump. I wish him success and everything else. I hope he succeeds and make our country great again. With that said, did that trigger you? All right, so if you triggered it because you have all these files here, that whatever they are, you decided that he's this and he's that because you heard this on the news and that on the news, and you did no research. You just put it up here as a fact, 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 fact. Ultimately, you have all these facts together, and you conclude it like you were told to conclude, that he is whatever he may be, negative down here. So when you load Donald Trump, just say the name. This loads here, that he's an ass, he's a jerk, whatever. I mean, this doesn't load up here. You immediately have the conclusive file. Is no good. And so you quickly feel like you're being attacked when someone supports them, and that's because of these files. So what you have to do to change your attitude, or anyone's attitude about anything, you don't attack this. No, you have to go back here and ask the person, why, tell me your source files. Why do you say that? And they say, well, CNN said this, NBC said this. Yeah, okay, all right, so you're taking hearsay about somebody and taking it as fact. Do the research. All right, there is no, you've got the thing where he said he was sued for housing. All right, that's real. That happened a million years ago, and it wasn't him. It was his corporation. All right, so you are suing him ultimately, right? You and I think of that way. But it was corporation that one of his people, way under him somewhere, discriminated. It wasn't his thing, outright practice across his company. This one person did. Of course, he got sanctioned. He, of course, sanctioned that person. That was resolved. You don't have a history of him having that issue. Um, you say he's a racist, all right? So there is no history of him being a racist, all right? So you don't have it. There is nothing there. There is a history of him going after money and things like that. That's it. So you have a history. You talk about his school. You say, well, his school is no good. Those people were suing because they weren't, he didn't do what was promised. Yeah. So all these universities should be sued because they're not putting out, they promise these people, $80,000 careers and things like that, and they're not getting those jobs. So those schools should be sued also. So yeah. All right. So he cuts his losses, pays money, does whatever he does to still stay president. He closes that deal out the best he can. Boom. Moves on. He's not going to spend his energy trying to prove to his amygdala here, this finished file, that I'm right. I know I'm right. No. He has other files that load. They say, okay, how do we resolve this? All right. Now I've got other things I got to do here. This is in the way. This current issue. Let me just close it out. Done. That's how he logically thinks. It's a new topic. It's nothing that he has conclusive file that he's locked in on. So he had a new topic and he resolves it. When we have existing topics we already made a conclusion about, such as religion or the president, which would be a great one in this case, you have these finished files that conclusive files that automatically load when you say Donald Trump. Again, and if you go back and see what it's about and you question yourself about this and check each file, you'll see that, oh, well, that's not enough to make this conclusive file that I should hate this man. It's, in fact, if you look at the files of CNN and you load a CNN file up, you go, well, that's not factual based. This one's not, this one's not, this one's not. Ultimately, you make a conclusive file that you come up with the coin term fake news. All right. And so when you think CNN, it loads fake news for me. Sorry about that, guys. Don't want to upset you. Nevertheless, I still look at it to see what the fake news is being loaded into the world. It's very stressful for me because I do the research behind their statements and find the real things there. Like when he went to Saudi Arabia, it was beautiful, man. You can find it. They did a big production, the Saudi Arabians did, and it's beautiful. You should look it up on YouTube. All right. So any conclusive file you have, if I go against it or anyone goes against it, your amygdala. You feel fight or flight, fight or attack. So flight or attack. So if it's a person you trust and don't want to hurt their feelings, and they mention they love Donald Trump and you don't, and they say it's your boss and you can't afford to mess with them, well, then you load here. Well, that's not going to be a fight I'm going to win. So I better go ahead and walk away, keep my mouth shut and walk away. So that was flight. That was still your amygdala protecting you, saying, if you take on this fight, you're going to lose. You're going to lose your career. I'm saying the amygdala is that badass that we get everything first. Now, this is my theory on it. The brain has not been fully mapped. There is no expert on the brain, no matter what they tell you. There is no expert. It is unmapped. It's mapped to a degree, but it's unmapped, meaning it's not fully mapped. I think everything that comes through this little ear here, goes to the amygdala first. If the amygdala doesn't have a file on it, for example, I say to you, ham and cheese in the sky. Okay, your amygdala has no file on that. Your brain has no files on that until just now. So that should not offend you. So it wasn't an attack. It was you actually searching for files to say, wait a minute, I don't have a ham and cheese file, ham and cheese pie in the sky. But I do have a pie in the sky file, but I don't have a ham and cheese pie in the sky, which is then frustrating because your brain's trying to put it together because it's so close to the other one and it's trying to merge them. And it's like, no, you can't. No, you can't. It's a conflict going back and forth on that statement. That was created right here. The amygdala is saying, wait a minute, that's wrong. So I think of it like this. You have so like PTSD or something that's stressing you out, anxiety. Okay, PTSD, anxiety. You want a different result, so you keep telling your brain, I didn't like the result. So you go over all the files again, 1, 2, 3, all the information again. But nevertheless, it still comes back down to the final conclusive file, and you're like, oh, that's stressful. Oh, I don't like the way that's coming out. Run it again, and so you go through everything again and going, oh, and the thing is, your brain is saying, no, we're going to give you the reality. The reality is this is your best answer, your best conclusive file. This is the best we can do. and you don't like the answer, which is an attack. So you keep trying to rerun it again. Instead of, don't rerun it again, accept it as it is. It's okay, the file comes to this much. Yes, my mouth got me fired. All right, don't say he was wrong. What if I did things? It's too late. It's moving on now. You can go back here and address these files where your mouth got you fired. You can go to the boss and say, look, I stepped out of turn. You could give the boss a new file up here for that, and stay fired if you will, but you can give yourself new file information going, I stepped out of turn. And I stepped out of turn, obviously, because your amygdala was attacked. I'm not above being attacked myself. That I'm aware of when I'm being attacked. I'm very calm about it, but sometimes the other person is not calm about it, and I'm still calm. That doesn't work. So I found the best thing to do when the other person is stuck in their amygdala in attack mode. Now it's not my job to change their files. If they're not asking me to, it's my job to walk the hell away and protect myself. Yeah, that would be a flight, but it's also protection. So, and that's it. You can't really. If people are getting aggressive with you, verbally, etc., you got to walk away. You got to walk away. When it comes down to it, if you're backed into a corner, you will protect yourself. Don't worry about it until that point. Don't be aware of what's going on and back the hell away. All right. So with that said, on YouTube here, we're chat. Sometimes I trigger people and they write back, and so ultimately this video is for my YouTubers that are triggered by some of my comments. And I don't mean to trigger you, but your files are such that wound up giving this conclusive file. And when I say something different to your conclusive file, it's an attack, and you have to set me straight, if you will. That's all that's happening. And then we have a little verbatim here, back and forth. Verbatim, that's the wrong word. We have a little banter back and forth, trying to give each other our side. I'm really open on mine. I'm willing to listen to your side and put new files up here. I know I have a conclusive file, but I leave my conclusive files iffy. Now, meaning they're willing to be changed. I know that I should change them. So if you can convince me as a guide, I'm willing. But short of don't point me to any fake Bibles, fake written words, and say this is the fact, because I can point you to a note and tell you it's a fact. That's not a fact. Okay, or it's not proof. How about that? All right, so I'm going to end this video. Hope this is helpful to all with the feeling attacked. But that's the way it works. That's stress. That's PTSD. Everything. PTSD. I did another video on that, talking about how it's you have these files, right? So say you're in the military and you saw the explosions by a curbside. So all now curbsides just trigger you. Well, that's because you learned what a conclusive file. Your conclusive file says curbside, new curbside construction equals a potential IED. It triggers the amygdala. The amygdala is already on top of that and says, "Hey, that's a bomb in there, man. We got to think of it a bomb. Think of a bomb." And you're going into this attack mode, this defense mode, and you want to kill and look for somebody with a phone, things like that. You have to reprogram that file there, saying you're not where you learn this information. You're no longer there. You're not in that foreign land, or that occupation, or that location. It's not there. You're at a new location. So you need to say, wait a minute, I loaded the wrong file for this. I need to load this. No more than your girlfriend says something to you and you say, oh, you remind me of another girlfriend. Well, you should never do that. That's the wrong files that are loading. Again, just because you have the little conclusive file mentioned or something comes up, you got to realize it's a different person. You got to load a new file for that person. Totally new files. This is in relationships, not strangers. Strangers, you trust your conclusive files. Those things, what we call your instinct. Instincts are all your files, your conclusive files there. So you see someone acting a little weird. Well, it loaded. You saw them turn around, stop, use their phone, pretend like they're on a phone, whatever. You saw a bunch of things. Just load the file that says this person is a danger. Trust it. Your amygdala caught on. It's a danger. Go away from it. Don't get more information. Just trust your instincts and walk. You see, this person seems like whatever. They're following you, whatever. Trust that. Your instincts are going to be right. Maybe they're going the same directions, but you know what? Stop, jump across the street, drop back, let them pass. That's it. Simple as that. All right, that's street smarts anyway. All right, hope this is helpful. The other thing is for safety reason. Let's keep it with construction now. All right, so you let these files. I've never gotten anything in my eye before. I can do this. I don't need safety glasses. Then the other file, safety glasses, conclusive file. They fog up. They fall off the eyes. They're no good. They always, can't see through them. They get dirty and all. So conclusive file loads saying, nah, safety glasses are optional. Don't want to use them. All right. So in reality, they're number one. They're number one. You're just going to keep buying new safety glasses. You need to always understand there's time for safety. With that said, I don't wear safety glasses a lot. I'm stuck with you guys. All right. Hanging up. Hope this was helpful in some format. And that's my amygdala, how I believe it's number one. Everything comes number one through the amygdala. And then if there's no conclusive file that the amygdala has to protect, that has to jump on, fight or flight, then it's so fast though, it automatically, not automatically, because automatically the amygdala can override and make you, swing out, attack or whatever, fight or flight. So it's not up here where you first process. Oh, there's a dog. He's got teeth. Oh, he's coming at me. Oh, amygdala, what do I do? And it says, oh, let's run on this one. Let's fight on this one. No, the amygdala will will process it first. That's my theory, and I think that's what ultimately is going to come out when the brain is mapped, and your memories, and then your amygdala will, as you're running, ultimately will open your brain up to let you take in new information. Okay, dog is way in the distance. Dog is being held by the owner. Dog's back there. Okay, now I'm safe. Conclusion, I'm safe. Okay, calm down. Note to self, that damn dog will jump at me when I get within 80 feet of it. The neighbor's dog. Goodbye.